Welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Mike Slinkard. You know, we've been showing you these incredible over-the-top turkey encounters with HECS now for over a decade, but we still have people that think HECS only works on certain types of birds or in certain locations. Well, I'm here to tell you that couldn't be further from the truth. You know, all turkeys see the same way, and today we're digging into the HECS archives and going from coast to coast, showing the HECS effect in action on the top 4 wild turkey subspecies. We're going to show you HECS in action on Osceola, Eastern, Rio Grande, and Merriam's birds. And when we're done, I think you'll agree that HECS truly is the biggest advantage a turkey hunter can have. So sit back and get comfortable and join us as we go hunting with HECS.
Hunting is about getting close. Really close. Get closer than you ever thought was possible.
When you have a cameraman and you setting out in a dirt field like this, you can get away with so much with this HECS on.
You know, I was a skeptic. I'm not a skeptic anymore.
What an animal.
We showcase the science of getting close right here on Hunting with HECS.
Hunting with HECS is brought to you by PSE Archery. Arizona Archery Enterprises, manufacturers of quality archery products. Sonics, undetectable, undeniable. Victory Archery, the carbon arrow experts. Nocturnal lighted Nox, illumination that lasts for 20+ hours. Shinex, fusing night vision and thermal in one affordable optic. Tacticam, share your hunt. Spot Hog, the world's toughest archery products. Avula Safaris, book your hunt. And by HECS Stealth Screen, the evolution of concealment.
On this first hunt, we're with Mark Braun, Steve Alleman, and their buddies out in Florida. You know, the toms are pretty well henned up and they weren't coming to the calls. So Mark decided to put his HECS underlayer to the test and try to crawl out on a group of Osceola turkeys. As most of you know, HECS works well under other hunting gear. And without his HECS base layer blocking that living bioelectric signature, this tactic would be completely impossible. As the scene plays out, the hens weren't completely past Mark and are totally unaware of any danger. Mark just stays put, and this last hen, which is less than 10 feet away, eventually drags that big old Osceola tom right into his gun sights.
Now that's how you put the HECS on them, baby. If that's not putting the HECS on a bird, nothing is, son. That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Let's go look at that monster. That's how you put the HECS on them. Six hens in our lap, and we killed a monster.
Better in the southeast.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Woo! Nice. Nice job, guys. That's why you come to Florida.
Now we join my daughter, Caitlin Swaggart, on another Florida Osceola setup. As you can see, Caitlin is bow hunting and set up in the wide open, only 10 yards from the decoy. Just like we see all the time with HECS, Caitlin is able to easily draw on this bird in plain sight with no reaction at all. The result is the number 2 Osceola turkey ever taken by a woman.
You know, we had right out in the wide open. We see it time and time again. We had no cover whatsoever, and you saw it. I mean, she was full draw, and the bird never knew she was there. And just perfect shot. You held it together, and way to go, Kate. Way to go.
HECS is excited to offer our first dedicated outerwear system. Our new premium quality outerwear pant, coupled with a HECS hooded shirt with integrated face cover, is the ultimate HECS system for any hunting situation. You can find this system on our website as a pre-built system, or you can customize this system even further using our new Build Your Own System option. The hooded shirt comes with an integrated face mask, a convenient front pocket, thumb holes, and is the perfect HECS outerwear piece for these cooler days in the field. It comes in both HECS style camo patterns as well as a two-tone version. Brand new to the HECS lineup is our outerwear pants. These will be the most comfortable hunting pants you will ever wear. And of course, they have the HECS patented technology woven right in. They feature a super comfortable, action-cut, quiet fabric, ample pocket space, and a zippered leg pocket for your HECS accessories or your cell phone. This is a high-quality pant that replaces the need for an additional HECS layer in order to get the full HECS advantage. They come in both HECS Style Anywhere and HECS Style Green Camo, as well as an olive brown. This is quickly becoming our best-selling system. You can check it out on our website along with other great HECS products and accessories. Don't delay. We expect these systems to sell out fast.
We've shown you plenty in Florida. Next, we're going to show you the HECS effect on eastern turkeys. Welcome back to the show. Now we're hunting eastern turkeys in Missouri with Joe Ogden. Joe is looking for a big mature tom, but when these young toms take an interest in his calling, Joe decides to play around and see just how much he can get away with using his HECS lighting system. As you can see, these birds are only a few feet from Joe when he decided to stick his hand out and wave at the birds. Then he even drops the decoys where the birds can see him plainly and they are still completely confused. They continue to gobble and hang around no matter what Joe does. As we've seen time and time again with HECS, turkeys just don't see it the same way.
He might see me now, but I have my HECS off, but that was freaking awesome.
Now we're tagging along with Jason Cleveland. Jason's in his home state of Missouri, and he has this big mature tom right on top of him. As you can see, Jason isn't set up the way you normally would. He's sitting right out in the open with no cover at all. Yet this big tom completely ignores him and struts right into the setup. The only downside with HECS is sometimes they get a little too close, so that pattern isn't very big.
Wait, what did you do before?
Sometimes you get them too close. Man, we sit right out in the open like we always do. Joe right over the shoulder. I don't know, you put the HECS on, set where you need to. Don't worry about a tree, don't worry about getting hid. Just sit out in the open with them, and you're able to call them up to too close for me, apparently.
Now we're headed to Tennessee again after eastern birds. My daughter Caitlin's on the bow, and it isn't long before she has this group of young toms right in her lap. As you can see, I'm there beside her as well, and there's nothing between us and these birds but thin air. As we always see with HECS, the birds barely even react when Caitlin comes to full draw. Unfortunately, Caitlin's bottom cam hit her leg on the shot, and even though these birds were only 10 yards away, her arrow goes high. But then she's even able to reload, and still the birds just stick around. With her bioelectric emission blocked with HECS, the birds simply don't see Caitlin's moving as living, and so they just ignore it. She could have easily shot again, but she decided to let these birds go in hopes of getting the bigger tom that we heard gobbling off in the distance. Now we're back with Jason Cleveland, but in eastern Nebraska. He has a big tom that'll answer all his calls, but just won't come his way. You know, we've all been there, but with HECS, there's another option. Jason decides to try to just crawl out to the bird and see if HECS will allow him to get close enough. As you can see, not only is HECS allowing him to get close enough, but when Jason rolls up and shoulders his gun, instead of the turkey bolting for cover like he normally would, he just sits there at full strut while Jason lowers the boom on him.
Well, birds won't finish, but when you got the HECS suit on, you can take the game to them. I crawled right up on that bird, rolled up on setup. He didn't even move, he just sat there and looked at me. My shooting was off, but the HECS was on.
Did you know that scientists found a specialized molecule in a bird's eye that allows them to see the Earth's electromagnetic field visually? The EM field given off by all living beings is very similar to the field given off by the Earth, which led researchers to the revelation that birds can actually see the electrical field that is emitted by living beings, and helps them to tell living beings in movement from inanimate ones.
Ever feel like animals have a sixth sense? That's because they do. They can sense the electrical energy your body gives off. HECS blocks that signal. Patented, proven, backed by science. Learn more at HECSHunting.com.
Next up, we'll be putting the HECS on hard-hunted Rios. Well, now it's time for some Rio Grande turkey hunts. Like I said in the beginning, all turkeys see the same way. And here yet again, you're going to see how HECS technology not only allows you to set up where you have wide open shooting lanes, but also allows you to move significantly even when the bird can see it plainly. Here, I'm in Texas with my buddy Brad Golke, and we have a nice group of toms at under 10 yards. As you can see, there's nothing between the turkeys and us, yet I'm able to get the full draw and easily take this nice bird. But then it gets even crazier. With my bird down, one of the other toms decided to go over and jump on my bird. So Brad was able to reach all the way behind him and get his bow and load an arrow. I kneeled down and Brad was able to put a good hit on the second bird. Now that's a ton of movement, but with HECS, it's simply not an issue.
Yeah, that bird's hit hard too. Wow. Oh man, I tell you. Now that is what HECS is all about, right? You were able to get your bow, you stood completely up behind the camera.
All 6'4".
Oh.
They're completely up.
and that's what HECS is all about, and I just love showing everybody, but it really adds a lot to the experience. You know, you don't have to pack a blind out there and all that. It's just easy. You set your chairs out, you set your decoys out, and you do some calling, and when they get there, you don't have to worry about getting a full draw, and that is what it's all about right there. And I guess like we always say, we just put a HECS on another too.
Yes, we did.
We're still in Texas with Brad Golke, and he has a group of young toms right in front of him. You know, he's looking for a mature bird, so he decides to show us all what HECS is capable of. Not only is Brad waving and moving all over the place, but he's also calling those birds just to call even more attention to himself. Even with this insane amount of movement, the turkeys continue to gobble and don't pay any attention to Brad at all. Once again, HECS is simply amazing when it comes to wild turkeys.
They're still 30 yards. Easy shotgun range.
Well, the next morning, Brad had his young son Hunter with him, and he's hoping for a redo with those jakes. But as luck would have it, this giant old gobbler shows up, and Hunter was ready. This just goes to show you that with HECS in play, even young hunters who may have problems staying still can still have an incredible hunt.
Good shot. You got him. You nailed him. Nice job. Good job, bro. Way to go. We came up here. We knew we had some jakes up here that we've been seeing just driving in and out, and that is Hunter's first bird. So we were going to be happy with the jake. Man, as soon as the sun came up, we got a big gobbler coming in here.
Now we're headed to my home state of Eastern Oregon. Well, we heard some gobbling up this little canyon, so Caitlin had the fan decoy and I had my bow. It wasn't long before we saw this big tom coming towards us. Now there's actually 3 of us here, Caitlin, myself, and our cameraman, so obviously there's no way we could all hide behind that little fan. But with HECS, it just doesn't matter. I go to the left of the decoy and come to full draw, while the cameraman is also moving to see the bird clearly. We all have HECS on, and as usual, the bird has no idea that he's in any danger at all. At 20 yards, it's an easy shot, and the bird is down in seconds.
But HECS played a big role too, because there's 3 of us behind that little bitty fan, and I'm not a little bitty guy. And so, you know, HECS played a big role in this as well. We were able to get away with all kinds of stuff.
Now we're in Northern California, bow hunting Rios with Dr. Howard Meyer. Dr. Meyer was the head of the Animal Science Lab at Oregon State University, so he fully understands the advantage HECS technology plays. As you can see, he's sitting in plain sight of the bird with no cover whatsoever. But Howard has his HECS lightweight system on under his regular camo, so he knows that getting to full draw will not be an issue.
A great morning out here. Sitting out in the open, really pushing the HECS, no blind. I've shot a lot of turkeys, but they've always been out of a blind before, and today we just sit right out in the open, called this bird in, 17 yards, had no idea I was there. Came to full draw, took the shot, and you can see the result right here.
You know, the largest subspecies of wild turkeys is the Merriams. These birds are mostly in the western U.S., and Idaho has a ton of them. Here we're with Rex Summerfield in the mountains of northern Idaho. Well, Rex calls this whole bird right into his setup. And as you can see, he's easily able to raise his gun in plain sight of the bird. You know, he can kill the bird any time now, but he wants to test his HECS even more. He raises his hand and actually waves at the bird, but as we now fully expect with HECS, the bird doesn't pay any attention at all. After a little while, Rex decides to go ahead and take this great gobbler home.
I'm only setting maybe 12 steps from the decoys here, and the HECS did its job. That bird come in, he looked everything over, decided it was safe and come right on into the decoys. And you saw me, I even messed around with him a little bit because I knew he was in range. I waved my hand, I brought the gun up, I did all kinds of stuff. He could have cared less. He was totally convinced that everything was up and up, and we'll chalk another one up to the HECS.
Now we're with Rex's son, Cameron Summerfield. He's also in northern Idaho, and he has another big tom on the way. He's set up in the wide open and even on the skyline from the bird's perspective, so he's really pushing the limits here. Well, Cameron raises his gun and the bird clearly sees the movement, but without that telltale electrical emission that all living movement has, the bird sees it as an inanimate movement and soon goes right back into full strut. After a little longer, Cameron decides to take this old bird home.
This bird came in about 15 steps. Using the HECS, he had no idea I was even there. Strutted around for a little bit, checked everything out, still didn't notice me. Finally decided to take him home.
We have a new sponsor called ShineX. You know, the ShineX product line has some amazing new features that are completely rewriting the book on affordable night hunting optics. We're able to offer the ShineX product line directly to our customers through our sister company, HECS Hunting. Through the HECSHunting.com website, we can offer you the best prices available with free shipping, as well as some special incentives that no one else can offer. So log on to HECSHunting.com, that's NYXHunting.com, and learn more about this amazing technology. Well, once again, we've shown you the HECS effect on every major subspecies of wild turkey, from Osceola in Florida, to Easterns in the Midwest, to Rios in Texas and Oregon, and even Merriams up in Idaho. HECS proves over and over that it is a complete game changer when it comes to increasing success in the turkey woods. You know, no matter where you live or how hard your birds get hunted, HECS is going to work. Birds see electric fields visually, and they actually have a special molecule in their eye that allows this, and they use this ability to tell living beings, and especially living movement, from inanimate ones. When you block this energy with HECS technology, the bird simply doesn't see you the same way, and the advantage is gigantic. You know, hundreds of thousands of hunters are using the HECS Advantage, and you should be too. Just go online or give us a call and get your HECS system on the way, and begin seeing that HECS Advantage that you never thought was possible. Well, thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next week, where we'll keep pushing the limits and bringing it to you just like it happened right here on Hunting with HECS.
If you have an amazing HECS encounter you'd like to share, give us a call or go online. You can find out more on our website. While you're online, make sure to take a minute and check us out on our social media sites as well.